Okay, here we go.
All right, Mike, if you can hear me, but I just can't hear you, we'll go ahead and send it off into the wild if you want to take control.
We will, yeah, we'll go. I think we're good. So if you guys can't hear me, I can see the chat. Let me know in the chat. But everyone else is chatting me saying they can. So we're going to hope this works and go forward. Okay. So thank you, John. I know you can't hear me, but thank you, John. So yeah, welcome everyone. This is kind of like an early access, kind of a sneak peek at our Webex or upcoming Webex Contact Center offering. I know we had one a couple weeks ago. There wasn't a whole lot to show. Basically, just call details, some reports, dashboards, and widgets weren't working yet, and they weren't available yet. And so what you see now on your screen is still an early build. I got my hands on it last night around 4 o'clock and I've been playing around with it. And so it contains, so now we can kind of give a sneak peek on the dashboard, the widgets, and a little bit more of the reporting. So what I was able to set up in my lab is two, I guess, coming on the Webex, kind of with what we're doing with Webex is kind of merging our UCCX reporting, kind of like what was popular there, and then merging it with our kind of standard platform development with like Call Manager, Webex calling, Teams, and Zoom, where you have more of the call-based analytics, and then you have some of the contact center-based analytics, and we've been merging them together, which, so we're taking from the UCCX kind of idea, real-time widgets. So, we do have the historical widgets, which I can show you. We have one down here, which, if you're used to the Call Manager reporting, so like when creating a new widget, you'll see pick your feature, platform, Webex, and then you see now with Webex, we have a sub-feature, one for Webex calling, one for contact center. So calling still has the same 7 widgets, but if you pick contact center, you're going to see something a little bit different. We have a little more widgets because we grabbed, like I said, grabbed the popular kind of contact center widgets, and then also brought in the popular kind of Webex calling widgets. And so now we have both available for our Webex Contact Center users. And so what I can kind of show right now that's working, or that's far enough along where it's working. Yeah, the Webex, the real-time Webex queue reporting or queue widget, and then the real-time agent widget. So I see Jim is there. Jim, if you want to mess around with the there you go, with the current with the idle state, so we can see using webhooks in real time what the agent state is. So I can, for example, I can bring over. I'm logged into our sandbox, and so here you can see I'm available. Here I'm green. I'm available. If I go to lunch, right there, now I'm idle, and now I'm lunch. So we can see how it's real time. There's no sort of refresh. The moment I go available, I'm available. The moment I go not ready, or idle, as Webex Contact Center calls it, instead of what CCX calls it. Yeah, we're idle for lunch. So, for example, I can also place a test call into our queue. Give me a second. Let me remember which number I'm supposed to be calling. There we go. And then it's going to be answered by either myself or Jim. It's loud. So you can see it's ringing. It's ringing, and then I'm going to go ahead and answer it. And there we go. So now I'm connected. I can hear myself. And also up here, we can see there is one call that's in the talking state. And when I disconnect my call like this, I'm now in the wrap-up state. I can pick my wrap-up reason, case closed, submit it, and then now I'm back to being available. So again, this is one of the real-time agent widget and the real-time CSQ widget are, I guess, the two most popular widgets on the CCX or the UCCX reporting kind of platform. So we've done, our best to kind of incorporate the same idea where our users can have, or will have, an ability to see live, what's going on within their queues or within or for their agents. So on the back end, everything else is the same. If you are, if you're familiar with the UCCX offering, under the configuration, you can select one or more queues. There are, then you can pick the statistics. The two important statistics that we do have that are in CCX are always going to be calls waiting and a list call and queue, and those are both available. I believe, and I don't want to make promises, there will be a feature coming that will turn this widget into, instead of it being a table like this, it'll make it a single square or a summary like this. So I know we've got a lot of requests to have the real-time widget display like stats like this, where you can just show, number of calls waiting and have a single value here. I believe that's coming. I don't know if that's going to make it into the initial release, or if that's going to be like a future update, because I believe that's also planned for the CCX reporting as well. And then down here we just have this is the call statistics widget that's just showing some stats based on my test calls yesterday and today in my database. Here you'll see kind of the statistics that we're going to show, and kind of like the big difference between this and the UCCX reporting has to do with the UCCX data, or our reporting was separated into two categories. We had one category for agent, or like one side, like one type of reporting for agent statistics, and then one side for the CSQ stats. And they didn't really mix at all. So you either ran a CSQ report or you built an agent report, or on the widget side, you had an agent-based widget or a CSQ-based widget. There was never any really crossover. With this, because we're following the same type of ideas, or the same kind of platform as like with our other, like Call Manager and Webex, we've kind of gotten rid of the agent or CSQ type reporting, and more so now we're just reporting on everything. Whereas now we have search sets where you can report or filter on anything, not just your queue or your agent. So if you want to build a widget based on wrap-up codes, you can do that. If you want to build a widget just based on call data, based on duration, based on agents, based on teams, skills, and Webex Contact Center, they have entry points, which are kind of like applications, if you're familiar with CCX. So you can really, you have the same flexibility that you're seeing in our standard offerings like Webex calling or Call Manager. And so all these different options are available. So now you're not just picking, like I said, queues or agents. From here, you're picking your search, and then you're selecting the statistics that you want to see. And this also carries over into the reporting as well. So one of the things that I really like to see, I was really happy with when I was playing around with this widget here is showing queue stats, like the number of calls presented by queue, but we also have the agents presented and ring no answer counts. So already, this is showing you that we can, that it's possible to have agent statistics and queue stats in the same widget or in the same report. And so, you can see how many calls came into your queue. You can also see how many agents, didn't answer a call that was presented to them. And so this is something that wasn't possible in CCX that is going to be possible in Webex Contact Center. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of a down and dirty kind of quick preview as to what's to come. There are a lot more widgets planned, and I'll go back to that list. They're just not ready to be shown off yet. They're here. We have spots for them, but development just hasn't gotten that far on them. And then on the reporting side, we can show off some reports. So call history is still here, still available. Let me actually jump into contact center reporting, not calling. So you see here, when you're going to create a new report, everything really, as far as layout, looks the exact same. Is the same as Webex calling or like Call Manager, where we don't have that agent or queue option here. And then when selecting or when building a report, everything looks the same. You should be used to if you're familiar with the software. Basics, search sets, groupings, search set stats, call history, and then Cradle to Grave will all be available. And then let me just edit my report here. This isn't all put together yet. Let me get the search set stats. So yeah, on the statistics side, really, a lot of them are based on just the type of call. Total calls, handle calls, abandoned calls, connected calls, wrap up codes, agent. Then we have the agent stats, agent presented, handle, ring no answer, then the queue stats. So there's different levels to the stats where you have like the overall contact, which is the overall call from the customers or from the caller's point of view, and then underneath that you've got the queue stats, which is like one step below, and then from the queue stats you have underneath that you have the agent stats. And so each call can track differently under each set of stats based on what happened. Like if a call comes into a queue and then goes to an agent doesn't answer. Well, against the agent, that record is ring no answer, but against the queue, it could be handled, it could be abandoned. And then at the contact level, if that call rolled over to another queue, maybe it's not handled by that queue, but it's handled by another queue, so the end result was handled. So there's a whole bunch of different scenarios, and that we're giving you the options to kind of report on those different scenarios. And so I can just run, basic sample report. I think this one has detail turned on. Like I said, not everything is 100% yet, but if I just do I have a few test calls here. Go. And here, this should look familiar. Here's my my queue, my basic stats, contact counts, event times, hold times, contact times, max durations, and then my grouping, which isn't ready yet, but we can see I'm grouping on the agent name, and then we'll hopefully have the different statistics for the agents, and then the detail for each agent down below, where you can see the individual events, and then the cradle to grave, which is the entire sequence. Cool. All right. I will pause here. If anybody has any questions or Q&A.
Well, there is one question that came through the chat, and that is, will this be able to show both PQ and skill? That question comes from Michael.
So skill should be included. Go back to history. So you mean show is in the detail? And I guess show can mean many different things. Skills are differently included. I don't think they should be included in the so skills here. PQ, I'm assuming, is primary or previous queue. What, Michael? If you're still around in the chat, what do you mean by PQ? Primary queue, previous queue? See if he.
I did try to Google it and didn't come back with anything. Precision queue.
I don't know if precision. I haven't seen precision queue in the Webex Contact Center. So I'll look it up. If it's not, but basically we took everything we could from the detail, and we're including it, in the stats or the grouping. So I'll see how precision queue comes up in the data, and I'll make sure it's available.
All right. If anyone has any other questions, get them into the chat here, and Mike will be able to address them. All right. Well, Mike, fantastic job. Very excited to see a new feature being added to our stable of offerings. And yeah, I just can't wait for it to get out in the field.